Welcome to the Climb Your Everest podcast, a platform where we delve into the incredible stories of women who have triumphed over their personal challenges and are making a profound impact on the world. I'm your host, Sara Safari, and I'm honored to be the founder of Climb Your Everest, a nonprofit organization passionately committed to offering education and empowerment opportunities to marginalized women, enabling them to unleash their true potential. Joining me as a co-host on this exciting journey is Avi. Together, we are on a mission to bring you inspiring narratives that will uplift your spirit, ignite your passion, and motivate you to climb your own Everest.
Hi, Sara.
Hi, Avi.
All right. So in the last episode, we reflected on some of the lessons learned from your personal growth during these expeditions. You talked about kind of the valuable life lessons that you've learned through your training, through the journey of summiting these mountains, and how they've shaped you as an individual and how you found your really mission for life. Mm-hmm. Now, the next thing is that you do a lot of work and collaboration through Climb Your Everest. And mountain climbing also involves teamwork. Mm-hmm. I also work in a large organization, and the really teamwork is our bread and butter. Like, you can't do anything, you can't move a project forward, or you can't get the work done if you don't have teamwork and achieve the goals of a company without a team. So I feel like there's a lot of leadership lessons from mountain climbing and teamwork that translate into larger organizations. And I imagine making it to Everest, that's a massive operation. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of teamwork. Can you talk about some of the teamwork on your Everest expedition and how that inspired you to face your trauma to go back to Everest after the 2015 earthquake? I know that's a lot of questions. In one, I can break it down if you want, but
no, that's good. But then if I forget something, remind me again. Okay. So I would say I had an extremely supportive team of people, and everyone in going back in the team that I had when going first time in 2015. During the earthquake and the trauma and everything that happened, like kind of being able to handle all of that. Remember, I told you in the first or second episode about the earthquake when it happened and how I was on the wall and I was so traumatized because I thought, this is it, I'm going to be dying. I thought I'm inside the avalanche. I thought I'm going to be falling into a crevasse. And it's kind of, that was a moment that I felt like, this is it. These are the last few minutes of my life. So I had an amazing team of people kind of helping me recover, come back to life. We went back to hiking and climbing together. I was kind of hesitating. I never wanted to go back. I was scared. And I had a very supportive group of friends, the same people that I attempted climbing Everest the first time, summiting Everest the first time in 2015. And they inspired me to go back and climb again. Kind of, I was so scared of being exposed to elevation. But then, and they knew it because they were in the same place, experiencing the same thing. And but they kept being very kind and patient. And I think that really inspired me to continue on. That was one thing that inspired me. But then my second group, which is the second group that I climbed Everest with, they were also very understanding of trauma, like what I've been through and why I came back and how important it is for me to summit and the promise of fundraising that I've done. And so every time that I wanted to kind of not to continue. They were very understanding of my feelings and emotions, and they were inspiring me to continue on. So when I went back this time, and I got to this wall, like the same wall that I was climbing when the earthquake happened. So it was very scary. I had the best excuse in the whole world not to ever go back and climb Everest again. But I just started Climb Your Everest nonprofit, and I just promised to raise money for the nonprofit. And this was our very first fundraising. And basically, this was the start of the organization. And I couldn't back off because I kind of thought, this is it. This is the birth. This is the beginning. And the beginning has to work really well. And so when I got to that wall that I was on 7 years before, when the earthquake happened, I was frozen. I didn't want to move at all. And so obviously I had a lot of trauma, even though I worked with psychologists and therapists, and I kind of talked about the whole trauma, but my body was remembering the whole thing. My body I was frozen. I started crying. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't even want to move. This was not my first wall, because I kind of climbed a bunch of walls to get to this moment. But this wall was a different wall, because this was the wall that the earthquake happened on. So my body could remember, this is the wall we were about to die, and now you're again at the same wall. So kind of, to be honest, I didn't want to climb that wall. I just wanted to go back home. And I was frozen. I was just crying. And my guide climbed the wall. He went up, and from up top he yelled like, "Sara, come up!" And I said, "Nope, I'm not coming." And I couldn't even talk. I was just shaking my head. And he's like, "Come up, come up." And then I just didn't want to. So I kind of climbed a little bit. And I was frozen again. I could remember the whole earthquake. I could remember everything that happened. And I couldn't even breathe, because I was crying so hard that I couldn't even breathe properly at this moment. I mean, it's 20,000 feet, so breathing is very difficult anyways. And I said, "This is the wall. And first he looked at me like, "What do you mean this is the wall?" But because I told him the story before, he remembered, "Oh, this is the wall that 7 years ago when I was climbing Everest, the earthquake happened. This is that wall." So he's like, "That's okay. Don't give so much power to the wall. Why are you wasting your energy on crying? Why are you losing your water?" Which, like, I'm dehydrated. It's 20,000 feet. So I'm supposed to save all this water. I'm not supposed to cry at this elevation. But I couldn't keep it together. I was just crying. So this is the power of trauma. It's because we all have traumas from different places. Like, I have traumas from growing up in Iran, from high school and middle school, and everything that happened in my life. And then now this trauma of kind of dying in an avalanche and earthquake, but then not dying and surviving it. And it all came back to me, and it was so strong. And I kept thinking, I don't think I can do this, but I can do one step. I'm just gonna focus on one step. I'm just gonna do one little thing, because I know I can do one step, but I'm not sure about the rest of it. And then I did one step, and I had to stop and cry again and again and again and again, and keep having this conversation with myself and keep thinking. And then I kept taking, I kind of thought about my phone. I showed it to you, like the cover of my phone is the mission statement of the nonprofit, which is like, we empower marginalized young women to lead fulfilling lives. And I kept thinking about it, and I kept thinking, I cannot, this is the climb, this is the fundraising I'm doing. I cannot go home. I just have to do one step at a time, just one step. And I kept doing one. I really took my time. Because I had converse with myself and convince myself and motivate myself every single step on the wall to be able to get up there. And that was the biggest thing that happened. I kind of, even though I had this experience before on all the other mountains, but I think this was the ultimate facing my fears and facing my trauma and facing my challenges experience that I had, because I really wanted to give up every single step. I really wanted to go home and be comfortable and not to climb this mountain again. And I've never cried the same level that I cried on that wall. And the funny thing is, like, we climb, as I explained in the previous episodes, we don't climb the mountain once. We do acclimatization hikes, which means we go up and down and up and down and up and down. So I had to cross that wall 6 times. So imagine the first time I cried. And then now the second time, I cried just a little less. And I kept saying, I hate you to the wall. I was talking to the wall. Like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Because the wall had like so much energy, like kind of the unresolved energy. And then the third time, I feel like I cried just a little less. And then I was not saying out loud, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Because it was kind of, it felt like all the traumas that I experienced my whole life, they all gathered together into one package, and I had to deal with them in that one package, in that wall at 20,000 feet, which it was too much. But I was kind of processing,
chipping away at it.
Yeah,
one step at a time,
and processing it just little by little every time. And Everest takes 60 days. So I had 60 days of crying and processing and journaling. So it's kind of, for me, Everest was not about the top. It was really about the wall. So I had to go back and I had to face that wall. So the 6 times after the summit, when we were climbing down the mountain, I want to respect Everest and say climbing, not hiking. So when we were climbing down the mountain, the 6th time after the summit, I saw the wall and I started crying again, but this time was from happiness. And the whole time I was telling the wall, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm so thankful to you because you gave me so many opportunities. First of all, you saved me. Because of you, I'm alive. So it's funny because until that moment was, I hate you. You caused so much trouble. And then that moment shifted into, I love you, you saved me, you gave me so many opportunities. Because of you, I wrote a book. Because of you, I did a TEDx talk. Because of you, I started my own nonprofit. Because of you, I did a Netflix documentary. Because of you. So like all that hate turned into appreciation and gratitude and being thankful for surviving it and being able to make something out of it.
And that there was a reason that, maybe that happened, and you have your nonprofit and you have all these girls, and
exactly, and
your mission for life has changed.
Yeah, and it became a full circle. Like everything is started from this wall, and everything ended with the same wall. Like it was like a kind of a beautiful scenario that I just had a role in it. It was a very life-changing experience for me. So this and kind of to answer another part of your question about how your team played a part in it, how my team were very supportive of understanding all these steps that I was going through. And they were such a good listeners. They would sit down and listen to me talking about everything that I just told you and the whole process, because they could understand that I'm resolving a lot of things, and a lot of things are coming up for me, and I'm kind of trying to get over them to be able to continue on the climbing. So I think their understanding, their support, their good listening skills was a big part of me kind of going through the process. And I mean, teamwork is very important because I take people to Everest Base Camp every year. So that for people who have never been exposed to high elevation, like being able to teach them the tools and techniques, communicate with them different ways of how they can acclimatize better, kind of help them process their thoughts and emotions. As the leader of the group, it's such a big task for me. But at the same time, watching the team members getting to the base camp is just so beautiful. Watching them kind of reaching their dreams, achieving their dreams, teaching them tools and techniques, listening to them to process everything. This is like such an amazing, beautiful experience. So I kind of I learned from my own leaders and my own guides and people who I climb mountains with. I learned from them how to be able to provide this to other people who are coming with me to the base camp.
And on Everest, on such a big mountain, mm-hmm. there really needs to be that communication, that trust building, that teamwork, because one person's mishaps can impact an entire group, and there's a lot at stake.
Yeah.
Right? You know, there's investments, there are people from all walks of life, as you mentioned in a couple episodes back, that, you know, people from different ethnicities, religion, all walks of life are coming to these mountains with a goal of reaching the summit. And
yeah,
when you're on that mountain, you're putting all your differences aside, whether
exactly.
it's political, whether it's religion, whether it's the color of your skin, your ethnicity, whatever that is. And you just all come together and focus on the goal to get to the top safely and effectively. And I think, you know, tying that into any organization, any large organization, which I believe, Sara, you also provide those services through your organization. There are skills and there are, you know, effective communications and trust building and activities that organizations need to do with their employees to be able to reach the organization goal.
Exactly. So we provide workshops for people who want to come to Nepal with us. We work with organizations that want to increase profit and performance and engagement between employees, and the kind of teamwork is working on their teamwork, teaching them different tools and techniques how to make it better. That's some of the things we do on my own personal business, which I'll do it on the side as well, on top of teaching at university and the nonprofit work that I do. But then using these tools and techniques to work in the nonprofit, kind of teaching teamwork and building teams and building trust between the girls to feel like in a safer space and be able to share and communicate and learn new skills. These are all the things that it's kind of all of these are very connected together. And I think like mountains were my first mentors, like the way I learned how to practice all of these things on myself. And now I'm trying to bring it into real life and help others kind of experience it for themselves, either by my speaking engagements or consultation or the group workshops that I have, either for my business or the nonprofit. Plus, of course, taking people to Nepal, taking them to Everest Base Camp, and let them experience it firsthand for themselves, like being in that environment of challenges, pushing themselves out of their comfort zone and kind of try it for themselves. So some of the guests that we're gonna have for future episodes, they've been in Nepal with me, they've experienced it themselves. So that's what I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna ask them about how was their experience coming to the Everest Base Camp with us.
That would be amazing. So I think this kind of leads us into the next episode. Maybe you can share some specific stories about the girls
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how they're using their skills, where they started, where they're at now. I think that would be a good segue to
Sounds
episode
good.
8.
Great idea. See you in the next episode.
Yeah.
At Climb Your Everest, our mission is to provide access to education and resources to marginalized women so that they can gain the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in their lives and communities. But we can't do it without your help. 100% of your donation is tax deductible and will go directly towards funding our programs, including scholarships, educational material, and mentorship. So please visit our website, climbyoureverest.org, and make a donation today. Every little bit helps. It costs $25 to sponsor one girl to participate in empowerment workshops for a month. If you're interested, please contact me at sara@climbyoureverest.org. And together, we can empower marginalized women to climb their own personal Everest. Thank you for your support.